Now, another key area of focus and more importantly, development is in the north. Since the war ended, many conversations did occur pertaining to developing the north. According to World Bank data, despite Sri Lanka experience, well, not in the past few years, but before that, growth of about 5%, that was, we know, under President Mahinda Rajapaksa, most of its progress did not come through to the north and the east. So with this new government, what can they do? The current president becomes the first leader to have been certified by the people of the north as their leader as well, foregoing the separatist ideology which was very much spewed by several northern political groups that was banking on race wars. Let's get some insights on that as well. And for that, joining me now is from Dehiwala, he's a political economist from the University of Jaffna, Dr. Ahilan Kadirgamar. Good to see you, Doctor, and thank you very much for being here as well. Now, many governments since the end of the conflict promised prosperity for the people in the north. However, when it comes to delivering them, well, that was not in abundance. This led to many from the north distrusting leaders from the south. Now, this time it's different. Why, Doctor, did this sentiment from the people of the north shift? How come they suddenly started to trust a Sinhalese leader, and not only that, delivered a resounding victory for him?
Well, Mahieash, this was a historic election. In a very short time, from the presidential election to the parliamentary elections, we saw a resounding mandate for the NPP. This is the first time a national party has won a majority of the seats in the 2 electoral districts in the north. So in that sense, it's historic, but it's also a reaction of the people against the sort of bankrupt politics that was there in the north. They were sick and tired of Tamil nationalist politics, which has not delivered anything. And like the people in the south, they wanted system change. So I don't think people saw it as a singular party. They saw it as mainly a national party that needs to take them forward.
Doctor, economically, the north needs a lot of investment. Up until now, despite there's a rich fabric of Sri Lankan diaspora all around the world, all what they've done is instead of bringing in investments, they brought in resolutions against Sri Lanka at the UNHRC. Now, what are the key areas of focus should be by this government when it comes to the north and the east?
So the diaspora has made some contributions, but very short of the kind of development that is necessary. So it's in that context, we need much more investment, for example, in the rural sector. The north continues to be mainly rural, whether it is agriculture, fisheries, livestock, and this requires small infrastructure. This requires smaller initiatives of development that have to be scaled up. Over the last 15 years since the end of the war, the government, the donor agencies only thought of huge infrastructure projects, and they thought that somehow the private sector would deliver. But in reality, that has been a failure. So now we have to start from the ground up. For example, cooperatives will have a major role to play. So it's that kind of development that we need in the north now.
Doctor, all in all, when analyzing the methods opted by the current government, do you think we are out of the woods or are more tough times ahead economically for Sri Lanka?
Mahieash, this is a historic economic crisis, probably the worst economic crisis since independence. So it's not going to be easy finding solutions, either nationally or in the north. This government has major challenges before it. They have to prepare for that. It is going to be development for the long haul, but we cannot afford to make mistakes. We have to give relief to the people. We have to stimulate the economy. At the same time, move with a long-term vision of self-sufficiency, both in the north and the rest of the country, because the world is going to be very choppy. There's going to be more shocks We just had this huge climate shock with the floods. There's going to be trade shocks. President Trump is coming back to power in the United States. All of this is going to make it a very messy situation. And I hope that this new government has the foresight to prepare for this very difficult times ahead.
Absolutely. Well, we had to leave it at that. Dr. Ahilan Kadirgamar, a political economist and lecturer from the University of Jaffna. Thank you very much for your time. Well, with Sri Lanka once again being a hodgepodge of regional politics, can this government steer the nation in a foreign policy that will benefit this nation? For insights, Deputy Foreign Minister Arun Hemachandra will join me shortly, and after that, financial analyst from Nikko Securities in Japan, Rasika Chandradasa, will be here to talk about Japan's recent announcement on Sri Lankan development projects. This is a State of the Nation. Back in a moment.